All right, good morning. This is a review of carried forward process, the brought forward process, and then the totals at the end of the month, how to prove your page, and how to do the prove cash. You always reserve the last line of your journal page for doing this process for carried forward. Once you realize you're down to the last line of a journal page, on the same day of that last transaction, you would do this. You put the date 27 because that would be the same day. You draw a line here to identify that there's going to be some calculations below it. That's a thing that's important, and that's on the test too, that you know that. You total up your totals. Make sure you bring them down. You bring those totals to this page right here, to the next page, the prove page one of the journal. You go ahead and put in your debit totals. There's two of them, and then there's three credit totals. They need to make sure that they equal. Debit totals equal credit totals. Once you've done that and you've proved your page that debits equal credits, you come back, you do carried forward or carried to page two since we're on page one. You put this check mark in, which will get explained later. The only other place at this point that you have a check mark is when you do a sale for cash. And because you have nothing here and here, you do a check mark here and a check mark there. But you do that check mark, and then because we've proven that debits equal credits, you double line underneath. You're going to take these five totals now, and you're going to bring them and just transcribe them at the top of your next page. We're on page two. Month and year, because we're on the first row, the first line of a journal page. Brought forward, or brought from page two, or continued from, or brought from page one, continued from page one. You need this check mark. That's important. We got our five totals, and we just then continue with the rest of the month of those transactions. Now, fast forwarding to the end of the month for April, we're on the 30th. It's the end of the day, the close of the day. So on the same day as the last day of the month, we would draw our line, date, totals, and then of course we just take the previous mid-month totals and we just add down and make sure that we get updated balances. So these are our totals for the end of the month. So page two, proving page two of the journal, we would take these five totals, we would put them in their spots for debit, general credit, sales credit, and then cash debiting credit. Make sure we add down, and they should add up. If they do, we would double line it because debits equal credits. The double lining is verifying that your totals are correct. The only other thing that you need to know how to do is right here with the proving cash. The directions are going to tell you how much cash you have on hand at the beginning of the month. But to prove cash, you're just taking your previous balance that you have, you're adding in plus cash received during the month. That's going to be your cash debits. That's cash coming in. You add that up, zero plus. You then says less total cash paid during the month. Well, the cash paid out during the month is your cash credit total. So we're going to do the $50.99 minus the $35.73. And that value should equal what your next unused check stub says. So your checkbook, to prove cash, you're checking that your checkbook balance matches what it should be. You're taking the previous balance, cash on hand, because you're a beginning business. You had zero money prior to this month. You just started. Add in the cash coming in, subtract out the cash going out, and that total should equal what your checkbook says you should have.